episode of Weekly Weird News is sponsored by Mac Weldon. And while Ricky's out on his honeymoon in Greece, we've got Phil Larigo here, back in the studio to fill in for him.
You're stuck with me, kids.
Yeah, well, welcome back.
Hey, can I tell him? I apologize, I'm wearing shorts.
He is wearing shorts, and it's fine, but it's 95 degrees out. You're allowed to wear shorts.
Sorry.
Anyway, this week we've got a big bucket of stories for you, so we might as well start with the one that's going to make for the best thumbnail. Ah, yes, sexy Colonel Sanders. Sexy pseudo-Japanese visual novel dating sim Colonel Sanders, that is. Not to be confused with sexy computer-generated millennial hipster Colonel Sanders.
Different. That's more of the Mr. Clean mopping type Colonel Sanders.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of Colonel Sanderses out there, though, to be fair. It's kind of their thing nowadays. Right before we filmed this, Sean Astin became the next Colonel Sanders, doing a really weird Rudy parody where instead of pursuing the impossible dream of college football stardom, he defies his naysayers and becomes the next KFC mascot.
Yeah, if you had that on your Sean Astin or KFC bingo card, hopefully you win. So, yeah, all of this is a bit odd considering that Colonel Sanders was actually a real living person who has only been dead for 39 years.
Not long.
Harlan David Sanders, the founder of KFC, who used to personally appear in KFC ads promoting his chicken. Seems normal. This is all very normal so far.
He's proud of his chicken.
Yes, we've all become desensitized to the Colonel, but imagine a different company like Apple deciding to have a rotating cast of comedians put on a turtleneck and jeans to portray Steve Jobs at all their events. It'd be kind of disrespectful and creepy. Or, if you need a more food-based metaphor, we're extending the chicken fam. Let's see, who could we get? Oh, imagine if Jared Fogle never molested kids, and then not long after his death, Subway turned him into a character played by whichever celebrity recently lost so much weight that their pants no longer fit. All right. Sarah, I don't know why I went down this whole Subway Jared analogy. It's got a little bit too much baggage.
Yeah, there's a lot attached to Subway Jared.
Sorry. He's still in jail, right?
I hope so.
He did.
Because he should be.
I feel like we'd hear about that. I thought he would kind of get the Dahmer treatment, but not saying he should.
Ooh.
Anyway, the whole Colonel Sanders thing. I don't know why I keep saying
Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders. Anyway, this whole Colonel Sanders thing, it's weirding a lot of people out, and for some pretty good reasons.
Yeah, so the real Colonel Sanders lived a long and sometimes difficult life before managing to make KFC a thing at the ripe age of 62. And like a lot of the OG American fast food guys, he ended up selling KFC just 12 years later in 1964 to some venture capitalists in a sort of terrible deal that, adjusted for inflation, only got the Colonel $16.2 million in today's dollars. So, yeah. They kept him on as their spokesman, though. He earned a salary and whatnot, and that's why his image is still so strongly associated with them. But he was also pretty open to saying that KFC kind of sucked compared to when he was running it. He said in the late 70s, quote, "My God, that gravy is horrible. They buy tap water for 15 to 20 cents 1,000 gallons, and then they mix it with flour and starch and end up with pure wallpaper paste. And I know wallpaper paste, by God, because I've seen my mother make it. There's no nutrition in it, and they ought not to be allowed to sell it. Crispy recipe is nothing in the world but a damn fried dough ball stuck on some chicken."
Now, I'm not saying you're disappointing. I'm sure they're disappointed because when we cut back, I think a lot of people assumed you were the new Colonel Sanders.
Ah, that's right. Hey.
You may have gotten the endorsement deal. That I think you read some lines, hey, I'm Rob Riggle reading for Colonel Sanders.
Well, I believe it was Andy Warhol who once said, in the future, everyone will be Colonel Sanders for 15 minutes.
15 minutes. And then you wear the hat and, no, wait, I need my time back. All right, whatever. So they sued him for saying those words that this Colonel said and sued him another time for opening his own restaurant with the original recipes that he sold to them. Mm-hmm. And then another time, he sued KFC for using his likeness in ways that he didn't like. But then he died in 1980, and KFC somehow retained perpetual rights to his identity, and everyone forgot that the real Colonel Sanders, whose face was on all the restaurants, actually kind of fucking hated KFC and what they'd become and everything they stood for and their shitty gravy paste.
Joke's on you, dead man. I got the contract right here.
Boom. So fast forward just 14 years after the Colonel's death, and by the way, he never even thought of a double down. You know what I mean? Like, he'd be just rotating in his grave like a chicken on a spit.
Yeah.
So, anyway, after his death in KFC, they're already running TV ads featuring a Colonel Sanders lookalike reading ad copy in black and white, just like the good old days.
Wow.
4 years later, they pivoted from pretending the Colonel was still alive, and turning him into an animated character voiced by none other than Randy Quaid. There's a name that'll hold up.
Acclaimed and not at all disgraced actor, Randy Quaid.
You know what? Can we throw up his mugshot real quick? That one tastes delicious like chicken. Now, I'm not quite sure which approach is more weird, considering that, again, Colonel Sanders was a real person who was put into the ground just 18 years previous. And with kids and grandkids still very much alive, now seeing a corporate doppelganger of old granddad every time they turn the TV on.
Yeah, it had to be a bit weird. Especially, like, they didn't have any input or stake whatsoever in the company, so it's just like, yeah, that's Grandpa on the TV, but not really. He actually would have fucking hated this. But that's him, and he signed away for it, but he also got completely ripped off in the deal.
Mom, why did a corporate giant hijack Grandpa?
Well, because your grandpa was very poor, and he needed the money.
I heard it was to the tune of $16.4 million.
Well, that's today's
Hold on,
money.
I have to go. My friend Jared's here. Excuse me. There it is. And that's the joke.
At least there's good food pitchmen out here, like Subway Jared over here, you know? Come on in, Jared. Have a seat.
Holding it up. Anyway.
But yeah, nowadays, Colonel Sanders, the person, is a historical footnote. But Colonel Sanders, the immortal brand entity, is absolutely prolific in his worldwide promotion of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Starting in 2015, KFC began their constant onslaught of new colonels played by an ever-growing cast of famous people, including Daryl Hammond, Norm Macdonald, Jim Gaffigan, Rob Riggle, Reba McEntire, Rob Lowe, Billy Zane, and many more.
Elliot Dewberry.
Yeah, and me now. KFC's executives have literally compared the role of Colonel Sanders to James Bond, which is equal parts absurd and accurate, though. And finally, 39 years after the death of Colonel Harland David Sanders, through the magic of Japanese video game technology, you can finally fuck the Colonel.
Yes! Yes! Dream Colonel. Mm-hmm. You saw that game Dream Daddy? Dream Colonel.
I mean, it very similar art style. I mean, they all kind of look like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, I mean, to be clear, you probably almost certainly cannot actually fuck the Colonel, at least without mods. But you can apparently at least flirt with him in the upcoming game, I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator.
I hope.
He's licking the pussy off his fingers.
I hope. There's this scene, it's like, smell that? I hope there is a hot coffee style mod, the hot chicken.
Hot gravy.
Hot gravy! The hot gravy mod. Look, I know a lot of people out there watching this have keyboards, and you got a good brain in your head. I think you can make this happen.
Yeah.
You can just slip in a little texture pack, slip in a little new dialogue. We're in business. So, yeah, to be clear, this isn't even the first time KFC has dabbled in romancing a fictionalized version of their company's founder who, in real life, was happily married for 31 years until his death.
Sorry, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, God, imagine.
It's my turn with the Colonel.
Like, hey, like, that's the final fuck you. Like, that's some, like, Succession shit right there.
Yeah.
And they're just like, and then we're gonna make you watch your husband. Back in 2017, they released the romance novella Tender Wings of Desire, in which a woman named Lady Madeline doesn't explicitly bang the Colonel, but it's alluded to in passages such as this. To call that affair passionate was an understatement. Sometimes it seemed as though the two of them had been made to love each other, and they tried to do so at every given opportunity. Their eyes would meet the instant he walked into the tavern, as if they could feel each other. In that instant, a spark would light and grow quickly into a raging inferno deep within them. They were so consumed that it took every ounce of their restraint not to give into the fire right then and there. The flames would continue to rage throughout the night until the fire was too much. And at last, they could let it engulf them. Like our 12-piece chicken.
Wow.
Sorry.
I'm hungry for some chicken.
I've read
and
this
my
book.
dick is rock hard.
I've read this book like 9 or 10 times.
Yeah.
I could do it from memory if you want to hear any more.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't make a habit of eating KFC all the time. It's a family event. And when I do, I like to prepare by sitting down with my copy of Tender Wings of Desire and getting in the mood for chicken. But yeah, it sounds like they fucked. Anyways, the Steam description for the new Colonel Sanders Japanese-style dating sim reads as follows. I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a figure-looking-good dating simulator, follows you, a promising culinary student, as you try to date your classmate, Colonel Sanders. Throughout your journey, you'll be faced with life-changing decisions that will affect your chances of friendship and love. But be careful. Your choices have real consequences with real animated characters' feelings at stake.
Hold on. Your choices have real consequences when your girlfriend finds this on your computer and wonders, hey man,
I think he wants to fuck the Colonel.
Are we cool? Because is this going to be like that other thing with the pigeon simulator?
I'm not dressing up like that for you.
Not dressing up like the Colonel.
Like some fucking slave owner. What are you doing? Continuing. Do you have what it takes to survive culinary school? Will Colonel Sanders choose you to be his business partner? Or maybe even so much more? Find out in the most finger-licking-good dating simulator ever created. A game that KFC actually made.
I mean, at least they put that in there because you know the first question is, did KFC actually make this? Yep.
Yeah, it's real. They say there's hours of gameplay to it, multiple endings, a secret ending. I mean, I'm curious. This is like it's commercialism, and I feel weird giving them free publicity, but I feel like it's okay because we spent like 5 minutes there kind of shitting on the fact that this is even a thing. But also, I don't know, like, it's all just so weird. The man signed a contract. The devil went down to Kentucky in the 1960s and was like, Mr. Harlan Sanders, I see you down on your luck. You love your chicken. It's so good, but no one wants to buy your chicken. Well, what if I told you I can give you all the chicken in the world? For one thing, your soul.
I'll do it on one.
And by soul, I mean likeness.
I'll do it on one condition. I want America to be able to fuck me in a dating sim released on Steam in 2019.
Agreed.
And that was it.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
I was thinking about this because, like, when Princess Leia showed up in Rogue One, people were like, oh, God, this is disturbing. Like, are there going to be movie contracts someday where you're forced to agree to, like, give your likeness away to a franchise if you ever do it? And then, like, looking into this, I was like, oh, KFC fucking did that in, like, the 80s. Or, like, well, they did that in the 60s, and they started actually enforcing it in the 80s once this guy was dead.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I feel like there's the contract situation, if you didn't have a good rep or a good lawyer looking at your stuff, you know, you get taken to the cleaners on this thing.
Colonel Sanders, I believe, I might be wrong, but I think he was at one point a lawyer himself.
But if the big companies like take this money and he's like, sold, you know, like here, last time I was in Vegas, I saw Willy Wonka slot machines with Gene Wilder on them.
Yeah.
And that made me sad. I don't think he...
You don't think he would have wanted you to be gambling?
No.
On his iconic film?
But I will say that when Robin Williams passed away, they talked about how for 25 years or something they couldn't use his likeness and da-da-da-da-da.
He was real smart about it.
And it's like, but 25 years, I'm like, that's not even when it's going to get like good and creepy into like VR and stuff where you're like, hey,
he's going to be at Coachella. They're going to be like, hey, it's Robin Williams.
Did you play the new Robin Williams kart racer? That's what it's going to become.
I mean, that does sound, it sounds disrespectful, but it also sounds fun. He like Mrs. Doubtfire versus the Blue Genie versus Popeye versus Bicentennial Man. There's so many great characters to kart race.
Yeah, 1 hour photo guy.
He drives past you and he flashes you with the camera and you spin out of control.
This is great. I hope someone's writing this down.
Yeah, Robin Williams kart racing.
In VR I think we have, I don't know, something like 20 years or so.
Yeah, so yeah, there you go, guys. The goddamn Colonel Sanders fucking dating simulator comes out on September 24th. It's right around the corner. This is where we're all at now. This is what brands are doing.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to top this unless they do like just a straight up pornography starring the Colonel. But I don't think the world's quite ready for that.
No,
yet.
that's a little far. That's a little far. Here's what they could do is they could create someone to create a parody account all off the record in cash and backdoor, and then be like, this is totally not we did not endorse this, but really they kind of went.
It's a Jacob Wool move. Like he made a bunch of accounts to be his haters, just to like keep the conversation going.
But this is going to have less garbage trucks.
Yeah, less garbage trucks, less federal warrants.
Oops. Yeah. All right. I'm getting too aroused. Can we move on to something else?
Let's move on.
Can we talk about Area 51?
Oh boy.
There's a lot of. Let's go from some gross stuff to some dumb stuff.
Yeah.
So hey. Area 51. The big day is fast approaching, and a few months back, we all went on Facebook and agreed to meet up outside the Area 51 military base in Nevada on September 20th, and Naruto run headfirst past the no trespassing signs. Not me and my boy Elliot. And armed guards, we're gonna shoot right by them in the most secretive military base in America.
We all agreed to it.
Hey, well, September 20th is just a week away, folks. Before you load up the van with water and MREs and head into the desert, we regret to inform you that Area 51 is canceled.
No,
it's not like it didn't get caught doing a podcast with a new SNL member talking about Chinatown.
It didn't do slurs?
No, it was canceled the old-fashioned way, meaning it's not happening. So,
oh man. Yeah. And okay, so to be clear, as we discussed last week, there were actually 3 totally independent events in nearby tiny towns planned around this internet meet. Last week, though, we told you about how one of those events, Peacestock 51 in Amargosa.
Can you say it again?
Peacestock 51.
Okay. I'm trying to get a nosebleed and spin my eyes like a slot machine.
Yeah. Okay. It was canceled because the county denied their permit.
Weird.
Yeah, but this week, Alienstock over in Rachel, Nevada.
Oh, Alienstock, not Peacestock 51?
Yeah, easily confused.
Got it. Sorry.
Same weekend.
My bad.
Alienstock in Rachel, which was being organized by Maddie Roberts, the actual creator of the Facebook Storm Area 51 event, and which did get approval from the county somehow, is also no longer happening. Last week, we predicted, based on the fact that Alienstock's website had basically no specific information about anything, despite being just 2 weeks away, that it was probably, almost certainly, going to be an absolute shit show. And it looks like Alienstock's own organizers felt the same way. Here's the official statement on Alienstock shutting down.
Due to the lack of infrastructure, planning, and risk management, along with concerns raised for the safety of the expected 10,000 plus attendees, we decided to transition Alienstock away from the Rachel Festival towards a safer alternative. We are officially disconnecting from the Little Alien, Rachel, Nevada, and Alienstock's affiliation with them. We will no longer offer our logo, social media, website, or Maddie Roberts' likeness. You hear that? Maddie's taking that shit back, you fucking loser.
My face is mine. I don't want a Colonel Sanders situation.
Maddie's taking his likeness back. Hold on, where were we? Or Maddie Roberts' likeness or scheduled appearance. In short, the relationship has ended permanently. Alienstock will be moving to a safe, clean, secure area in downtown Las Vegas as an alternative. We are not interested in, nor will we tolerate any involvement in a Firefest 2.0. We foresee a possible humanitarian disaster in the works, and we can't participate in any capacity at this point. Alienstock is hold on, let me just with a straight face. Alienstock is a brand that stands for unity. Here it comes. And concern for like-minded people. It's grown into much more than a location. It's a phenomenon that can only promise absolute safety and peace. And we need to move that festival to guarantee that. Stay tuned for more news. ... It's big, all big letters like the movie Big. Which just is basically about a lady pedophile, if you think about it.
Yeah, she did fuck a kid. But she didn't know it. But when she found out, she didn't run away.
So let's talk about Maddie. And I love it because now, not to take away, I'm not a big person who does big things, but Maddie's a guy who I don't know anything about him other than starting a Facebook page as a joke.
At like 2 in the morning.
At 2 in the morning.
Beep, bop, boop. 2 sentences.
Man, they're gonna ban these vapes pretty soon. Beep, bop, boop. And then he did that, and that scheduled appearance out the window. Maddie's likeness, Big bucks, Maddie's likeness, out the window. It's all gone. Flush the toilet.
I mean, this is his way to the top, and he's not going to let it be tarnished by a catastrophe out in the middle of nowhere in the state of Nevada.
The Little Alien. You think you can stand up to Maddie Roberts? Oh, you are in for a fight in Rachel, Nevada. I think I got all those right.
Yeah. Anyway, with Alienstock canceled, that just leaves Storm Area 51 BASECAMP, that event in Hiko, Nevada, which is less of a meme rager. It's more of an actual serious meetup for UFO enthusiasts.
Thank God no weirdos going to be there like at that other one.
Just some normal UFO fans who are going to look through telescopes and listen to talks. But as that statement from Alienstock said, they're actually still doing another event in Las Vegas now. It's sponsored by Bud Light, and it's called Area 51 Celebration. And it seriously looks like when Bud Light promised to make alien beer if they got enough retweets a few months back. They never did, by the way. They just assumed that they would get those retweets and started manufacturing the beer cans and other various alien merch, because that's what's being served at this event, which takes place next Thursday, the 19th, at the downtown Las Vegas Event Center. So...
Can I put that in terms of Colonel Sanders dating sims? 5 days before the Colonel Sanders dating sim comes out, this event is, just to give you some frame of reference.
So when you're coming down from the Vegas party, getting the Blue Mondays, you can play some Colonel Sanders.
Got a case of the blues.
But... And here's where things get weird.
Oh, they're starting to get weird? Oh, okay.
This is where they're going to begin to become
Fire
strange.
up the weird mobile, because...
So you may have noticed the wording of Maddie Roberts' statement was a little weird. Alienstock might be canceled, but also Alienstock is still happening.
Thank God this is just getting more drama-filled and weird. Okay, so let's see if we can break this down forensically for you. While the official Alienstock website, alienstockfestival.com, now promotes the new Bud Light event in Vegas, alienstockparking.com, you know, the one that sounds like you're not going to get a drive-by download for a Flash player, that still advertises an official Storm Area 51 event taking place in Rachel at, guess where? The Little Alien. Are you seeing this? Are you putting it together there?
Get out your string.
So it would appear that while Maddie Roberts bailed for legitimate safety reasons, the Little Alien itself is just throwing caution to the wind, man. They're crazy. They're raw dogging this thing, and they are proceeding as planned, probably because they stand to make more money in one weekend than any other time of the entire year.
Yeah, easily. They are not walking away from this business opportunity, even if it burns down the whole town.
And put it up real quick, that's how it's spelled, Little Alien. So
yeah,
you can kind of see what they're like, you know what we got to do?
It's a pun that works a lot better verbally than on
Seeing
on
it,
the
I
page.
read it the first time, and it made me angry. You know when
it's like, what is that, Hawaiian?
Yeah.
Is that Maori?
When people do clever stuff and they're like, it kind of makes me angry sometimes.
A little alien, get it? Anyway, the last-minute breakup between Roberts and the motel has unsurprisingly led to some serious drama. The manager of the Little Alien has publicly accused Maddie Roberts of selling out for money. You damn sellout. And in response, Roberts has turned around and formally issued a cease and desist letter to the inn's owner, Connie West, pictured here in better times between the two of them, threatening to sue if they continue calling their event Alienstock or use Maddie Roberts' likeness in any way. They're also ordering them to send over their spreadsheet of all their confirmed guests so they can be notified of the new, official, real Area 51 event in Vegas, and not this fake Area 51 event that's closer to Area 51.
Bullshit, just Bush League, ugh.
Yeah, the letter also strongly urges them to cancel their event because it's doomed to be a catastrophe. They might be right about that. And Roberts doesn't want to be associated with that in any way, which is understandable. So yeah, looks like the fun internet meme of the summer has really turned into something a lot less fun.
Hot girl summer.
Yeah. And with less than a week to go, it should be very interesting to see how Alienstock plays out, if it even does.
My favorite part about this, and no shade Maddie, maybe we'd get along in a different life, but they're just like, you stop using my likeness. People are like, well, what kind of, Kim, show me a representative of the people who created this.
I make memes, motherfucker. What have you done with your life?
Flash up a Maddie, and people are like, fuck, dude. They get out their Discover card, they purchase tickets.
I will Naruto run right down to the courthouse if you don't do as I say.
And then I'm going to go there and drink some 3.8% Alien Budweiser with my friends, and I'm going to crush those. I'm going to even shotgun one. I'm going crazy.
Yeah, you can. It's very easy to shotgun.
That's how you ball out of control. So anyway, even though Maddie Roberts' original Storm Area 51 event was clearly not meant to be taken seriously, something on the internet got out of hand. This week, 2 young men were arrested while attempting to literally storm Area 51. Now,
oh, good.
Like some maybe worse things, which we won't get into, I'm kind of surprised it took this long to get here. Did you not think this would have happened sooner?
I totally thought it would.
But,
timing. We might see a lot more of this in the coming week.
So, yeah, if you're wondering what kind of dumb lunatic would actually try trespassing on an active U.S. military base, the answer is YouTubers.
Hey,
Can you upgrade?
that's me.
Hold on. Dutch YouTubers.
Oh.
There we go. And pretty damn successful ones, too. Thijs Granzier with 740,000 subs and Gover Sweep with 312,000 subs. So together, over 1 million subs.
Wow.
No small feat.
A force.
Both appear to be mainly travel vloggers and seem to have decided that trespassing into Area 51 just in time for the actual event date that was on... Oh, do you know who started that Area 51 page?
Matty Roberts.
Matty Roberts,
Event
bitch!
creator
He's
Matty
back.
Roberts.
Anyway, they stormed it just in time for the actual event day for Matty Roberts' original thing, hoping it would be some top-tier viral content.
Yeah, timely.
I see, on paper, I totally see how this works. I totally see them being like, you know what we should do?
Yeah.
What's a Dutch accent? I don't even know. Ay, g'day, Dutch.
The Dutch accent is pretty, like, Dutch sounds like what American English would sound like if you just had a massive stroke. Like, the accent isn't that different. It's just all the sounds are, the words are different.
Would you say if I went to Netflix and watched some weird, like killer movie, you know how they always have these like international series? If I watched a couple of those, I could probably nail this.
Yeah, you could learn Dutch in a weekend.
Okay.
Right.
Well, that's what I'll do this weekend then.
Anyways, for whatever reason, these Dutch guys thought that they could just drive right into an active military base and... Surprise, on Tuesday they were detained not long after entering restricted territory and far from actually getting close to the actual base. Police found cameras, a laptop, and a drone with them and got them to admit that they do in fact understand English and therefore ignored the multiple signs telling them not to enter. Therefore, crime. They then spent 2 nights in Nye County Jail before being released on bail on Thursday. And they're now free to leave the United States, but I imagine it will be difficult or possibly impossible for them to ever return. And the Department of Homeland Security is currently just denying entry to people based on their Facebook friends' posts, not even their own.
Son, these memes are too dank.
Yeah.
Get some deep fried ones in here. I can't let you in. This is America.
It's hard to come here. So yeah, getting caught trying to illegally enter a top secret military base, probably a deal breaker as well. Though I guess they could try this Indian dude's method of posing as an 81-year-old man to get into America, which it didn't work, but pretty convincing makeup job. But hey, these Dutch guys, they may be banned from America, but they've at least earned some meme cred.
I'm not here to tell them what to do. This definitely isn't legal advice. I would stay in the States, at least for the event on the 19th. And then I would grab the U.S. copy of Dream Kernel, get that on your laptop. Because I know you got a laptop. Cops told me.
Yeah.
They narked you out. And then, then you can go home. There's nothing, those are the 2 best things happening in America for a while. So.
Yeah. Nothing else.
Yeah, so...
You can probably leave and there's no reason to come back.
There's nothing. So.
Oh, no, they're not going to let me back into America, that country that's just absolutely losing its fucking mind constantly. Oh, what am I ever going to do with myself? Not get shot?
Not have to put shorts on because it was too hot? It's tough, man. So Anyway, so before we get into headlines, it's time for an ad break.
This episode is sponsored by Mack Weldon. Mack Weldon is a premium men's essentials brand that believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping. They're betting that they're the most comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, and sweatpants that you will ever wear. If they don't leave you fully satisfied with your first pair, you can keep it and they'll still refund you, no questions asked. I've been wearing Mack Weldon underwear and socks for the last few months and my God, I have experienced true comfort, and I can never go back to the way things were before. And for the extra sweaty boys and girls out there, Mack Weldon has a line of silver underwear and shirts that are naturally antimicrobial, meaning that they eliminate odor. And not only does Mack Weldon's entire line of basics look good, they also perform well no matter the occasion. Work, exercise, going on dates, you name it. And if you visit MackWeldon.com and use our promo code WeeklyWeird, all one word, at checkout, they'll take 20% off the cost of your first order. Again, that's MackWeldon.com. Use promo code WeeklyWeird, all one word, at checkout, and you'll save 20% off the best underwear and socks of your life. All right, now, headline time. Gonna read some funny headlines from the last week.
I enjoy this because I don't read the headlines. I don't know the stories.
Good. And never read them.
Now here we go.
California Democrat Raul Ruiz faces a challenge from Raul Ruiz.
Okay, same name, different person, or is this a kind of like he plagiarized himself type?
No, it's 2 different people with the same name from different parties.
Okay.
It's like straight out of a sitcom. The challenger, the Republican Raul Ruiz, He even said at his press conference, he's like, yeah, this is probably going to like confuse people. I don't know who it's going to benefit, but I will say this. Since I'm older, I am the original Raul Ruiz. I had the name first.
I like that.
There's his campaign slogan. I had the name first.
I dropped that. That's some bomb I'd drop on him.
But yeah, like the current the Raul Ruiz in office, the Democrat, like he's got a pretty good. I think he won with like 60-something% of the vote last time. So that's a pretty good starting point. But when you give voters in the next election two of the identical names, what happens? I don't think this has ever happened before, and I'm very curious to see how it goes down.
And that's not a super common name. It's not like John Smith.
Yeah, it's never happened before.
Well, don't worry. Politics, voting, all this stuff hasn't been divisive or confusing in this country for a while.
Yeah.
So
It's a fun thing.
I think it's cool. So, all right, let's get on to something with dignity.
Read the next one, please.
Farrah Abram confuses 9/11 with 7-Eleven convenience store as she visits Ground Zero.
And who's Farrah Abraham again?
I believe she is a teen mom star who did porn.
That's right. Yeah, she got preggers as a teen.
Okay.
Went on a reality TV show about it. Got addicted to the limelight. Had the baby. Did a porn. And then for some reason, in the year 2019, she decided to visit Lower Manhattan on 9/11 with her baby to pay her respects. And then, while blogging about it, called it 7-Eleven on accident.
This is, when these things happen, like, this is like lazy joke writing. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, you mean 7-Eleven? And you're like, no, that's not. Hey man, can you your script? Yeah. The Raul Ruiz thing was dumb, but this is like worse.
Yeah, people were making 7-Eleven jokes like on 9/13. Like 9/12, everyone was sad, and then 9/13, the edgy kids were like, 7-Eleven. What happened on 7-Eleven?
Bam.
And that little edgy kid was me.
Right here, the new Colonel Sanders.
Yep, canceled. Next headline, man spends 30,000 British pounds fighting 100 pound speeding fine. It's the principle, I guess.
If I had the kind of money, the fuck you money, this is the type of stuff where you're like, dig in.
I don't know if he did, though. It sounds like he may be like in debt, or at least financially much worse off than he was before.
Okay.
But this all started because supposedly he was going 35 in a 30 zone, got the 100-pound ticket, and he went all amateur lawyer on it, kept trying to delay it, paying for all these fees, lawyer fees and stuff, and the law didn't budge, and not really worth it. I would have guessed after the first 1,000, he's like, all right, fuck this, just make it go away.
10x, you've already dumped in 10x. I'll tell you who the real victim is here. This guy's friends and family.
Oh, I'm sure they haven't heard the last of it.
If he has a job, his fucking coworkers probably are so sick of this.
Like, hey man, how was your weekend? Oh man, this fucking case.
Did I tell you about Statute 242? I'm not doing a British accent. 242? All right, so listen to this. 242 is an interesting case. And then they just disintegrate into tiny
and you know the type of person who's going to spend 30,000 pounds instead of paying 100 is going to also never talk about anything but his stupid ticket for driving slightly too fast that he refuses to acknowledge.
It's going to go
100%.
Yeah, it goes one of two ways. He gets it and never shuts up about it. He doesn't get it and doesn't shut up.
Yeah, if he wins, exactly. If he wins, this is like the high point of his life, obviously, and you'll still never hear about it.
And if he loses, he's going to be like, they screwed me.
Yeah.
I would venture he sues them if he loses.
Oh, absolutely. He's gonna keep fighting this till the day he dies.
And
because it's the principle, damn it.
And folks, this is why you get a pet. You got something to focus on.
Yeah.
They're cute and stuff. So, all right.
They're also very expensive, though, as I've learned recently. Blech.
We just adopted a 12-year-old dog with
good.
Who has no teeth.
Just in time for all the health problems.
Who has no teeth.
Well, that's at least you don't, because the dentistry is expensive too. But no teeth.
No teeth.
There you go.
Kind of doesn't have a lower jaw. Cute as hell.
Yeah.
We've decided we are not going to be. It was a very early decision. We are not going to be people who have a Instagram for our dog.
Yeah, that's.
I don't trust that people. Anyway, France plays Andorra's national anthem for Albania ahead of football match, then apologizes to Armenia.
Yeah, that's awkward. I mean, that's on the same level as the Kazakhstan national team constantly has to deal with hearing the fake national anthem from Borat at sporting events.
I mean, it's just a type of thing like when you're at a party and, you screw up someone's name, so then you apologize to a different name that you got it wrong.
You're just tripping over your own dick over and over again. I mean, hey, if they didn't want us to do that, why would Andorra, Albania, and Armenia make their names so similar?
Right?
I mean, it's kind of your fault.
Maybe you should go back to the naming board.
Yeah.
Pick a different name.
How about Bandora, Calbania, and Farmenia?
Farmenia.
Those are way different names.
Wow.
Never going to get those mixed up.
That's a galaxy brain if I've ever heard one.
Solved. I'll see you next time. Hurricane Dorian delivered cocaine to Florida beaches.
Oh, no, it was just a drug dealer nicknamed Hurricane.
Hey, they call me Hurricane Dorian.
Hurricane Dorian in the house.
Yeah, when I bring the white stuff, it's like the biggest waves crashing on the shores. It's just white powder as far as the eye can see.
I'll destroy your life.
Yeah, no, a bunch of... I always hear about this, and like my first thought is like, if I found like a big fucking brick of cocaine on the beach, like why would I immediately go to the cops? That's like $10,000 right there. But then I'm like, what? But then I'd have to like figure out how to actually sell it, and I'd have to find like some serious criminals willing to take it off my hands. And meanwhile, I'd have to keep it at my house. It's just, I can understand it. Just like, that would be cool. It's a lot of money right there, but it just sounds really complicated.
It's a thing like money falls from heaven, and then you realize like, I mean, look, if you're into the coke, just do the coke. That's a lot to go through. It's not like, oh my God.
That would take a lifetime for one person.
He drank that whole handle of Jack this weekend. It's not like that, because your heart will just explode if you do too much.
Yeah. It's more like finding an 18-wheeler floor to ceiling, front to back, filled with
Budweiser Alien beer.
Yeah, Budweiser Alien beer.
A full tanker.
It's like I like beer, but this is a lot.
Full tanker.
It's a lot.
All right, let's hit up some Tay news. Taylor Swift threatened to sue Microsoft over its racist chatbot Tay.
Oh man, I remember Tay.
That was when I did that show with Chloe Dykstra amongst other friends. I always tweeted her any of the old stories we covered. You know how your parents like forward things to you, or I don't know if anyone's parents like clip things out of the newspapers and
my
mail
dad
them to
actually
you?
does that.
Yeah, I do that to Chloe, and I'm like, the vaping congressman is my favorite.
Yeah,
and it's
Duncan Hunter.
Duncan Hunter, hey Chloe, the vaping congressman got busted for did it. It said Happy Tuesday, and then this one was hey the Tay. So this is what I'm actually up on, and I remember. We read some of the logs, and very quickly it went bad. It is...
Yeah, she started off as just an innocent little robot on the internet, and within like 12 hours, she was like saying the 14 words and shit. Like she was like not even just casual racism, but like straight up like American neo-Nazi white nationalism.
It was as if it's like if you took a robot, a real life robot that could function and had AI, and just dropped it in a city at midnight. What would it be used for? What would it be taught? And that's kind of what this was.
Yeah, like, it was a real like picture of Dorian Gray situation too. It was like she was shining a mirror back on the internet, and we finally saw just how ugly we all collectively were. We're like, wow, we trained something to basically go online and become a synthesis of all of the online social conversations on there, and she turned into an absolutely terrible person, and we had to kill her after a day.
Yeah, it was like a day or two. She went back online, like we fixed her, and then right away people just hammered. But anyway, the whole reason we bring this back up is Taylor Swift, or Tay to her friends. She might have it trademarked or something, but
I don't think she does. She threatened to sue them like while it was happening.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was back while it's happening. Sorry, my mom didn't send me enough articles, and I'll have her.
The cease and desist was just like, as you know, the name Tay is solely associated with my client Taylor Swift.
You got it.
So nobody else can be Tay ever. So I'm like, all right.
There's only one Tay.
But the thing sorted itself out.
Yeah, it went away.
And luckily, no one will ever associate the name Tay with anything bad.
Never.
Just Taylor Swift. Man jailed for giving his girlfriend a wet willy.
Do tell. Is this what state? Is this? Do you know the state?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Somewhere I probably wouldn't visit. Probably a state I've never been to. Yeah, Wet Willy, I don't know if the kids still do it, but it's when you lick your finger and then you shove it in a person's ear, and it feels real gross. But I hadn't thought about it in about 20 years. I'm like, Wet Willy sounds sexual. The term Wet Willy, it sounds like sexual assault.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, not to dissect this in a serious way. Like, typically, you know when, like, you go into someone's bathroom or house or whatever and it's gross, but then you go into yours and maybe you didn't clean it recently, but, like, that's your dirt.
Yeah.
It's okay because it's your dirt.
Yeah.
I don't know how long this relationship was, but typically over time in a relationship, you view their dirt as our dirt.
I guess they weren't at that point yet.
And they weren't at that point yet where she couldn't take a wet finger in the ear?
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, we kiss each other in the mouth all the time. This is just my mouth juice, but in a different part of your head. Now, what the hell?
Now, maybe he was the bad guy here, and she's like, stop fucking doing that.
If
you do it again, I'm going to call the cops. And he's like, oh, yeah? And he just probably did it for a while, and she was like, fucking, this guy's psycho.
Yeah, I imagine more led up to this.
I don't know. So, 95-year-old can't renew his Texas driver's license unless he can prove he was born. Now, first off, this guy's got a lot. He's got a lot going against him because he's probably not good at internet, right?
Yeah.
Like doing stuff. So imagine this. It's Texas. He probably has to go, unless he can get someone to go on his behalf, which that doesn't always work. Stand in lines at unair conditioned government facilities.
That's what him and his family have been doing. He was born so long ago. He's like, I never had a birth certificate. I was born in a barn. Like, there's no record that
born in a barn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start telling people that's kind of badass.
But I think my theory is that the DMV's lying to him. They just really don't want a 95-year-old out there driving. So they're like, oh gosh, you don't have all the paperwork. So I guess you're just gonna have to retire from driving then. Right.
And then they're like, he won't figure this out in the time before.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna spend the rest of his life, fighting to get his driver's license back until he's dead.
I mean,
he'll have a purpose.
I saw The Mule. I think Clint Eastwood was 81, 82 when he made that. I trust that's okay, I guess. I don't know. 95 seems a little excessive.
Yeah, it's pretty high up there. I mean, the guy seems like he's still got it mostly all there, but I'm not comfortable with just the idea of, you come up to me and you're like, there's a 95-year-old man here who would like a driver's license, please. My reaction is not going to be excitement. It's going to be fear. The U.S. warns of feral hogs approaching country from Canada.
How many? Is there a rough approximation?
30 to 50,000.
Bam. Throw a comma on that.
Yeah. So this is why we all need AR-15s, because it's going to be like World War Z. There's going to be various Canadian hogs all politely charging towards America. And if I don't have my semi-auto AR-15 with the extended mag in, I'm not going to be able to mow them down as they're running towards me. They're gonna take me down.
During that fiasco, like I closed my eyes and I tried to envision that scene when they're outside and he's like, honey, get the kids in the house. He's like, what? He's like, do it!
They're back.
And he goes and he has an AR-15 hidden under like the Monopoly board or in the little Tykes car.
All over the house.
Something like that. And it's just Rambo. And these hogs, like, boom, they're sliding over.
Damn you, hogs!
And they go, and then what happens is the final pig has a gun too. And it's a showdown, and it's like behind every good guy with a gun is a bad hog with a gun.
Hog.
Think about that one.
Yeah, America. Do you want the guns to be only in the hands of hogs, or do you want people to have a chance?
Think about that.
Think about it. And final headline, and we'll probably get to this a little bit more next week, but breaking news, MoviePass is shutting down for good.
But it was a perfect, infallible system.
Yeah, so how could this have gone wrong? The system was, you give us money, we give you movie tickets for significantly less than the movie tickets cost, but first we buy the movie tickets at full price. So we eat the cost difference of every movie you see with our service, and then you compound that across however many tens of thousands of users we have, so we're constantly losing money all the time. Yeah.
It was cool.
Crazy.
Did you have MoviePass at one point?
I never did. I remember like early on before it was like a viral thing. I think it was still fairly regional, and it was like
50?
yeah, it was like it was kind of expensive, but if you were already going to the movies like 4 or 5 times a month, it was a good deal.
Yes.
And then at some point they transitioned into just the stupidest deal ever.
Yeah, we got it toward the end of when it was. I kept being like, I don't think this is real. And and I would talk to friends who were like, no, it's real, and I'm like, ah. So I'm like, but it's $10. $10 isn't the end of the world. So I was like, fuck it. So we got it, and I felt like I was trying to buy beer like at 19 or like
no, it's legit.
MoviePass, and it worked, and I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
So we used it for a little while, more than it should. We used it enough that we came out ahead. But toward the end, I canceled it immediately because we went to a theater to go see a movie, and we could no longer see that movie. At 7 o'clock, that movie was available, and then at 10 o'clock, like right before the show wasn't, and I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm not living my life like this. I would rather not see a movie than have to go out. Yeah, it was a bummer. So
yeah, it turned into just like being on the standby list for flights.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, you can save money that way, but it kind of sucks.
If I know a lot of people who love cinema, who love movies, and they're just like, oh, I saw this movie. I'm like, I haven't even heard of that. I guess toward the end that could have still worked, but it just was one of those things that I remember when their stock, the parent company stock, was down to like 4 cents. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't think that just boop boop. I'm like, I don't think it's gonna pull through. You could see the vitals getting slowing down.
I don't see this turning around. So yeah, and this is like effective immediately. So rest in peace, MoviePass. It's a real shame. Ricky this was his favorite story beat to follow was MoviePass, but he's in Greece where MoviePass news, no one cares. They're like, oh, wow, there's a MoviePass.
Yeah, I will say, I feel like Ricky predicted. He told me, he said, 5 days before the official Area 51 party, the real one, MoviePass is going to shut down. 6 days, I think he said 6 days. 3 days after 9/11, and then 10 days before the KFC Colonel Dating Simulator.
Wow, he was completely right.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I feel like it was Ricky. It was either Ricky or someone else, but I think it was probably Ricky.
Well, that's it for this week's Weekly Weird News. Thank you for joining us,
Thanks
Phil.
for putting up with me.
Yeah.
I like I'm a bye.
Might have you back on, because Ricky's gone for a long time.
Okay.
Be sure to watch some other videos from this week if you haven't already. And if you're a patron or a YouTube member, be sure to check out this week's podcast featuring Ricky as he's packing his bags to leave. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Start those hot gravy mods. Start coding.
Hot gravy.